What's up, agents, and welcome back to another Division video. I finally got it, a chest piece I have been hunting for such a long time. Big shout out to Daisy who dropped it for me in Countdown yesterday. I'm going to show you this bleed build that is absolutely crazy. As you can see, I'm on heroic. I've got all the directives on, and we're going to see how it now plays out. So we're going to throw a bleed hive. And we're going to get some ammo for our other guns as a start, which is cool. I'm reloading him. We'll just tap him and see what happens. We need to put bleed on him. Let's get a bleed in them other guns. Man doesn't bleed. There we go. Oh, there's one right next to us. It's a bit risky. Fire some on them. Let's see how quick they die. I mean, look at these numbers. These numbers look great, and I only tapped them. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Put some real numbers in while they're at distance. Sit back in cover. We got the grenade off. Let's get away from that. Oh, and it's that easy. And now we're set up. Obviously, we've got bullets and all that other good stuff. So we don't have to do the setup again now. We can just carry it on going. The main thing you need to think about is if you are teleporting around the map, what you want to do is teleport to missions and then you don't lose your bullets. So you are a little bit restrictive if you want to do the 5 directive thing. Let's see if we can get to this one in time before it runs away from us. Looks a little bit too close to the, to that event. We don't really want to be running into that. We can go to this one here. Oh, this one perfect. This is great, right next to a mission. And we'll just try one more and then I'll take you back to the base of operations and I'll go through the build. The chest piece I've been trying to get, absolute unicorn was so hard to grind, and you are able to craft it, but I went through all of my materials, didn't have any luck at all. But there is another variant that you can do as well, so do not worry, you might not have to go through the pain that I have endured. Alright, we're just running up on this one now. Really, we could switch to our revive hive now if we really wanted to, just for that extra life. If you want to be a little bit more cautious, once you set up, you're kind of good to go. We'll get onto this truck here. Some damage in that spawn. He's an elite. Where are they coming from? There. Oh, nice at distance. That's great. That's exactly what you want. We put out some really good numbers even with our guns as well, you know. It's, well, they're coming up from the sewer. We could have been right on top of them.
Incoming hostiles detected.
Oh, that's a bit risky. Well played. Well played with the grenade, but we win. We win. I mean, look at all that XP that we're getting. That's absolutely crazy. Absolutely beautiful. Easy, 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 easy. And that's definitely what counts right now before the EXP revamp comes in. Right, let's head over to the base of operations. Let's run through this build and show you everything that you need to do. I want to go and do these other convoys. Like, I just want to farm. But just before we get started, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up and hit the bell so you are notified when I upload more Division videos. Even better, come over to Twitch and hit follow because I could be streaming live right now. And if you need a community Discord, there's never been a better time to join. If you need help with the Regulus, the Ravenous, raids, all them kind of things, you'll find the link for that down below in the description. And with all that said, let's get started. So, first of all, you're going to want to go with Demolitionist. and I'll show you why in just a moment. And obviously you're going to want to go with LMG damage. Now I was using the Pestilence. You can completely use the blue screen with this. If you want to use the blue screen, that would work really well as well. So it depends on what content you're playing. If you're solo, maybe if you're in a group, if you want to do more CC, the blue screen would work absolutely brilliantly with this build as well. I just wanted more damage and therefore I went with the Pestilence. Speaking of the Pestilence, here is mine. It's got 12% weapon damage as the expertise on there, which I don't think is too unreasonable. LMG damage, damage to target to cover, and damage to armor is what it comes with, all max rolled. And this is our first kind of debuff that we're going to apply to the enemies that make them die so quick while we just sit in cover. Hits apply a debuff dealing 100% weapon damage over 10 seconds, and this stacks up to 50 times, which is why this is actually mainly a red core build. Whenever an enemy dies with this debuff, all stacks are transferred to a nearby enemy within 25 meters, which is absolutely huge. Like I said before, you could go with the blue screen. This thing fires really, really nice. It's like an absolute laser beam. And obviously you get all of the disruptor rounds that you can do here. So you just pulse if you've got 1 to 10 stacks, 11 to 25 pulse and disrupts, 26 to 49 pulse disrupts and disorientates, and 50 stacks pulse disrupts and disorientates, marked targets and all hostiles within 10 meters of the marked targets for 5 seconds. It's absolutely beautiful. But this effect will trigger immediately if any marked enemies is killed. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can use your skills to trigger it, or you can just get the kills. And we have both of them options with this build. Okay, so let's take a look at the gear. We're going to start with the Vial Mask. It comes with the skill tier, status effects, has pro, and I've got a protection from elites mod in here. Now, these mods are completely up to you. You could run in headshot damage here, would be great as well if you wanted to go for more damage from using your gun. You don't have to use protection from elites at all. You can take the pick. All 3 mods are up for grabs here. Use whatever you feel comfortable with. And obviously we get toxic delivery. Status effects also applies damage over time debuff for 10 seconds. Total damage dealt is equal to 50% of your concussion grenade damage and is increased by your status effect attribute. And we've got status effects everywhere, and we're actually increasing the damage by running the demolitionist specialization. When you look at your specialization, just make sure you've got LMG damage selected. Obviously if you're using the Pestilence or the blue screen, both of these, this is definitely very, very important. But if you take a look around here, we get 10% increased explosive damage, and that counts to buffing your Vial Mask. Okay, so next up we're going to take a look at the ongoing directive pieces. We get 15% status effects, 30% reload speed, and then we get the rules of engagement. Shooting a status affected enemy will apply a mark. Killing a marked enemy grants a full clip of hollow point ammo for your active weapon, and half a clip for agents' active weapons for the rest of the party. The mark lasts 10 seconds. Hollow point ammo though amplifies weapon damage by 20%, and it applies bleed, which works so good. I've loaded this one up with the core attributes of weapon damage, status effects, and as I talked about before, I've got my protection from elites mod in here, my lucky unicorn one at 13%. But this is where this is a little bit important. The backpack, it increases the duration of your bleed status effects by 50% and all bleed damage by 100%, upping that bleed damage. It's really nice. So next up we've got the gloves, and as you can see here, these are weapon damage and status effects. After that we've got the knees, and you guessed it, weapon damage, status effects. And now the holster is weapon damage and status effects. So let's take a look at this unicorn chest piece that I've been trying to get for such a long time. And here it is. It's the Golan chest piece, which gives us 10% status effects. I've rolled it to weapon damage, and because I needed to roll this to weapon damage, it had to drop with status effects and glass cannon, and that was so hard to get. It was just absolutely insane. So again, a big shout out to Daisy. Thank you so much for getting this yesterday. I've rolled in with the protection from elite mod again that I talked about, but it's just such a good piece for this build. Now if you want some other options, you could go with a China light chest piece. There isn't a lot of difference, and that will buff your Golan a little bit more, whereas I've gone for buffing my bleed a little bit more with the status effects from Golan. Now, this is a pretty hard chest to get. You can craft them if you feel like your RNG luck is with you, but there hasn't been Golan on sale at the vendor either for such a long time, so I constantly ran out of the Golan materials when trying to craft it, and therefore it was countdown where it eventually dropped. If you wanted an alternative that is even harder to get but not a lot of difference in damage, as you can go with, I talked about it before, it's the China light chest piece. Now you can go with that. You can't craft that, you're going to have to farm it, and you're going to have to get it to drop with status effects and glass cannon so that you can roll the core attribute to weapon damage. It's obviously going to be lightly dropping with a yellow, but the one advantage to that is that because the core attribute for China light is yellow, you're much more likely to get status effects here. So really, you're just kind of looking for status effects and glass cannon, and that is a pretty good possibility. Now, obviously, the repair skills is a little bit of a dud. I do run heals with this. That's kind of okay. But really, I would have loved weapon handling in here. Weapon handling would have been great just to help with the LMG side of things, reloading and things like that. But that would have been an absolute ultra god roll, and this was definitely hard enough to get. So talking about them skills, let's take a look. So I'm running the chem launcher as my first skill, just for some extra survivability. I could actually run the drone here for survivability. It just depends if you're using the pestilence or the blue screen. If you're running the blue screen, you probably want to be running the chem launcher, just so you could drop that chem and activate the blue screen whenever you like. Mod it up as you like though, but generally you're going to want ammo and heal in the mod slots. And then the second one is just so I can get my bleed bullets, and we talked about this a little bit earlier on in the gameplay. The Stinger applies bleed, basically allowing me to get my bleed bullets for the rest of the build really quickly and get my pestilence loaded up. So that's just why that's there. Once you've done that, you can just switch it over to the reviver hive and get your, if you're playing by yourself, you've then got everything you need. You've even got yourself an extra life. Stats wise, it looks terrible. We've got 10% crit chance, 45% critical hit damage, and 85% headshot. Like I said, the headshot could be more. If you trade out them protection from elite mods, once you get used to playing the build, you can have quite a lot more headshot. In fact, it would be 12, 24, 36% more. So definitely, you know, that's no slouch when it comes to damage. Because as well, don't forget, we are 5 red core build with 1 yellow. Stop the video here now and pause it if you want to check out the build a little bit more. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. Massive thank you to everybody that pushed us over the 10k barrier here on YouTube. I deeply appreciate it. 20k next. Thank you so much for all the love and support. Don't forget to come on over to Twitch, or maybe see me on Twitter as well. Have a great day, agents, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.
Progress resumed. Manual override required.
If you need help, come to the theater.
Detecting additional hostile contacts. Incoming hostiles detected. Agent in need of